Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the American Business Podcast. I'm Kevin Deveji, your host. Today I'm excited to announce that we have more than 2,000 subscribers now. So we are very happy. We know we have more subscribers are coming up, so we truly appreciate your support. Please subscribe, share, like, and share, and also put your comments on in our YouTube channel if you can. We'll really appreciate it. At the American Business Podcast, our goal is to bring you educational content. So today, I'm very excited to welcome our guest from Harrow International School, Matthew Sipple. Let's make sure Matthew is in our screen. Okay, that's perfect. Hello, Matthew.
Hello, Kevin. It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you very much for being with us in your busy schedule.
My pleasure. Oh, this is great.
Sounds good. Well, so let's get started because we have a lot to cover, a lot to learn from you today. So, as a start, would you please introduce yourself and your organization to our audience and to our listeners?
Yes, indeed. So my name's Matt Sipple. I'm originally from Boston. I am the current principal at Harrow International School, New York. We are a new school opening in September for students in grades 6 to 12, but we're going to open in grades 6 to 10 and then add a grade year each year thereafter until we get to grade 12. We are an independent day and boarding school that will offer a premier education using the International Baccalaureate curriculum with British traditional values based on the Harrow School in London, which was founded in 1572. Our school will be located in Oakdale on the former LaSalle Military Academy campus, which is a beautiful 170-acre waterfront campus in the middle of Long Island, just about halfway out between Manhattan and the Hamptons. So I'm very excited to be leading this team as we look to open in September in grades 6 to 10, as I mentioned. And I'm a product of boarding schools myself. My father was a headmaster at Salisbury School in Connecticut, and I attended St. George's School in Newport, Rhode Island for grades 9 to 12 as a full-time boarder before I went off to university and went into the field of education. So I've been a teacher my whole career and moved into educational leadership midway through my career. I've been leading independent day and boarding schools around the world in different countries and in the United States. I've worked in Switzerland, Thailand, Saudi Arabia, India, Latvia, and the Netherlands. And I've also helped to lead schools right here in New York, most recently in Westchester at the EF Academy and also at Buckley Country Day School here in Nassau County on Long Island. So it's a pleasure for me to be here today and to be helping to lead Harrow International School, New York, as we look to open.
Thank you very much. Well, previously featured in the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Newsday. So Harrow International School is being promoted to the U.S. market. I'm really happy to have you today in our podcast. Truly appreciate it. Well, let's talk about, if that's okay. Let's talk about your career journey to share with our audience, if that's okay. How did you choose your career? How it evolved over the year? If you can share some insights, that'd be great.
For sure. So as I mentioned, my father was the head of school. My mother was an English teacher. My grandfather was a teacher. My sister's a teacher. It runs in the family. So I always knew that I wanted to teach. And I got my start at doing an internship, actually, at the Oregon Episcopal School in Portland, Oregon. And that was for 2 years. I was coaching, I was substitute teaching, I was being a dorm parent in the dorms and tutoring, doing SAT prep, anything I could do to get my feet wet and in the classroom. So it was a great experience, and it really cemented into me this is what I wanted to do. So I went to graduate school and I studied history. I got a master's in history at the University of Pennsylvania. And during that time, I was also head of a living and learning house on campus right in Locust Avenue. If anybody knows the Penn campus, I was at the Castle at 36 in Locust and had a fantastic experience. And from there, I went on to teach at the Isidore Newman School in New Orleans One of my most famous students of all time was in 10th grade there. I taught Eli Manning history, and was always have been a Giants fan ever since. That really got me, going into teaching, and I decided I knew I wanted to go into international education. So I attended a job fair and had an offer for a job in Switzerland that I ended up taking, and that's where I made the change into leadership. I moved from being a full-time teacher to eventually being the assistant headmaster of that school, and that really showed me that this is what I wanted to do, and be in school leadership. Like my father, and so I needed to go back to school. So I went to Columbia Teachers College. I did the Klingenstein program there. Had a wonderful experience, and I've been in leadership roles ever since. Director of Educational Advancement, academic dean, deputy head of school, and now I'm currently the head of school here at Harrow, which we call the principal. So it's a little confusing, it's not the same as an American principal, but it's a head of school role, and it's just a thrill to be here and helping to lead the school in this exciting phase of its journey.
Yes, I'm always, I have tremendous respect for teaching and teachers. It is because it's a profession of passion. You have to really love it. You have to love teaching and also educating the next generation. So I'm really excited to listen to you in this podcast. Well, teaching is great. It's very respectful. Also, well, when we think about your work, what are the exciting and most challenging parts that you see in terms of teaching and teaching career? You'll say.
Yeah, well, teaching is always changing, and it's never going to be the same, and it's evolving faster and faster each and every year with the advent of technology and AI, which we'll talk about in a bit, I'm sure. And the challenges that teachers face, the expectations for schooling, and what parents expect and what society expects schools will do in raising children have gone up. And so, what used to just be a place where students would go to learn facts and figures and memorize things, now it's a place where students learn how to become global citizens, where they learn lifelong durable skills, critical thinking, collaboration, communication, where they're really taught values and instilled in them a love of lifelong learning. And the stakes are even higher than ever. And so the expectations and demands on schools have gone up, on teachers. And I think you'll see, if you looked at statistics and teacher retention rates, and how challenging it is to retain fantastic teachers, and especially with COVID and what happened in education during COVID, it's certainly even more challenging and more important, critically important, for fantastic schools to be an option for parents to consider for their children when the stakes are just so immensely high as they are now. I think one of the things about Harrow that's going to, really make it special is our attention to a holistic pastoral care system. And pastoral care in the British tradition means overseeing a student's holistic well-being, so their social, emotional, and academic and physical health all together. So that's something that we specialize in, that Harrow is known for, having an incredible attention to holistic pastoral care, and we will model and provide that here as well. So having a small student to teacher ratio, where teachers get to know students really well in a variety of capacities inside and outside of the classroom. Their teachers are their coaches, and their dorm parents, or as we call them, heads of house and tutors. They are seeing students in clubs and activities and sports and in the dorm and in meals. They're just getting to know each other so much more, and the teachers are able to provide holistic care that can translate into more effective engagement in the classroom. And that's something that we really can provide, that I think is needed in today's age, when students' attention is really competing with so many different things, whether it be the technology on their phone or on their laptop or mass media, and their engagement is just really stressed out at times, and not being able to focus on the present and what's most right in front of them and what's most important. And obviously in the classroom, that most important thing is learning and their social emotional well-being, to be able to feel confident as learners and capable as learners. So having what Daniel Pink calls, autonomy, mastery, and purpose, being able to have those three come together to enable them to be motivated, to want to learn, and to learn to their best abilities.
Well, let's shift towards parents a little bit.
Right.
So when we think about parents and they should choose a school for their children, it's very serious decision. So what should parents consider when
Yep.
choosing a school for their
Yes.
children? That's one of my questions.
Yep.
And there's a follow-up question.
All right.
And why they should choose a private school, for example, instead of a public school in this
Yep.
sense. That'd be great. And if you can also talk about Hero School a little bit more in that concept, that'd
Sure.
be great. So a lot to cover, so please take your time.
All right. If I forget one of those, be sure to come back to it.
Sounds good. Thank you.
But I think, what parents really need to think about is what's going to be a good fit for my child. Where are they going to be successful? Where are they going to feel comfortable and confident and engaged in their learning process? Where are they going to feel socially and emotionally happy? A happy student is a learning student, and one that feels like they have hope for the future, where they have hope for improving, and where they feel comfortable. Certainly, that's a critical component, as well as a good match with family values. You want your children to go to a school that has some sort of match with your values, and that they're not going to be having a completely different life at home versus at school, and different values reinforced in different ways. Or, let me put it this way: it would be awful if a value that's really important to a family, like honesty and courage and treating others well, and with dignity and respect, is not also reflected and modeled at their school. So that if you have that discontinuity or that conflict between home life and school life, then it's gonna have negative impacts on the child. They're not gonna know which values are most important. So that's really critical. And of course, there are logistical considerations such as expense and location, travel time. You don't want your child spending too much time going back and forth from school, because their time is valuable, and that time needs to be spent being engaged and not just sitting in a train or in a bus in a car. And that's one thing, at Harrow, New York, we offer our 5-day boarding and our 7-day boarding options. So if children families want to have some time during the week together, their child, and they're in close enough vicinity to the school, their child could come home every weekend. And for us, that means they would come back on a Sunday evening, and they would go home on a Friday evening. That way, they're ready to go on Monday morning. There's no got stuck in traffic on the way to school. So that's what our 5-day boarding would look like. And then for families who live closer, obviously, day student options are fantastic as well. And day students can stay as late into the evening as they wish. They could stay for after school activities, sports, meals, study hall. They could go home as late as 9 o'clock at night. They would be fully welcome to be engaged just as much as a boarding student. So yes, I think Harrow offers all of those things. A good fit for students, a care to make sure that they are getting their needs met and looked after, as well as the flexibility to be here for the points of time that make sense for them and their families, as well as we hope, and this is what we're looking for in our students, is a good fit with the values, a good fit with, we want students who are wanting that are hungry for knowledge, that are hungry to take advantage of all that we have to offer, whether it be inside or outside of the classroom. Now, why would parents pay for independent education when there is, public education nearby and it's free? Well, it's covered by taxes. I think that, it's all the extra things that we offer at our school, and these individual holistic care that I mentioned, really looking after the individual needs of our students. Our safeguarding is probably number one. So we're on a 170-acre campus that is protected, with natural barriers and fences, and also has security, 24/7 security around it. So our students will be able to come to campus, whether day student or boarder, and feel safe and be able to walk around campus and play and be a kid without, having to be on guard. This is a place where children can be children and be safe. And this is something I think is extremely important in child development psychology. Feeling safe is a higher order need that children must have to be happy and to feel in a position where they can learn. So I think that is something that's really worth considering that we offer, as well as this amazing campus and our location, and the facilities that we're able to provide and will be adding to over the coming years as we grow. Now, the number one factor in student learning, research has shown time and time again, is the quality of instruction. And I think that Harrow International School, New York will provide top teachers from around the world. We have begun our recruitment processes. We had over 1,000 applications for our positions, and we only have 16 positions for opening. So we've gone through those incredibly carefully, done thorough background checks, reference checks, had a very detailed application process and interview process that we followed with every candidate, exactly the same questions, same checks, to ensure that we're following the national minimum standards set for the UK, which Harrow in the UK also follows, to ensure that we are hiring teachers not only who are 100% safe to work with children, but teachers who have amazing backgrounds in the type of curriculum we're offering, which is the IB curriculum, International Baccalaureate, as well as international curriculum, as well as experience with boarding schools. So we have already pulled together an amazing faculty and staff, and that is going to be a difference, a game changer for our students. Our teachers are coming in ready to hit the ground running with incredible experience and knowledge, subject knowledge, as well as the latest and greatest professional development techniques, and they are up to speed. And I'm just so excited to be able to bring this faculty together and to introduce them to our community in August, well, when students get here in September. But that's the number one, I would say, the Harrow difference is the quality of our teachers, in addition to the campus and the facilities and the attention to holistic care that we're going to offer our students.
I like to learn about your insights about AI. This is another popular subject that we cover pretty much in every episode of our podcast. So what is your take on AI and how it will change education system, education in general, and as well as business?
Yes, it's already changing so many things as we're learning. Just in the past 2 years, it's a game changer. There is no doubt. And just for fun, for today, I got into ChatGPT and I typed in to AI. I asked AI to predict how AI will impact education in the next 25 years, and it is exactly what I would have predicted. One of the main changes is, learning is going to be more personalized. Learning is going to focus on what the student already knows, and what they need to know, and how to make up the difference. And so, now in the industrial model that we have in so many schools, especially here in the US, it's more of a one size fits all. This is what the teacher's teaching. This is what you need to learn. This is what is going to be on the test. And that is not fitting. It's not a one size fits all, because some of those students, normally half of students in a classroom, they already know the content that's being provided in some way, shape, or form. So this will be able to tailor that learning. And as Dewey wrote over 100 years ago in his famous work, The Curriculum and the Child, you have to tap into the students' interests and passions in order for them to engage in learning. And so AI will allow us to do that. It will be more real-time, at the moment assessment. It will follow not only what students know, but how they're feeling when they're learning in the learning process. It will totally change the role of teacher from distributor of knowledge, to a mentor and facilitator of learning. And so for kids to learn, they have to have slept, they have to have eaten, they have to be hydrated, they have to feel safe. And so a teacher's role is going to really ensure that those things are happening, that their children, their students are ready to learn and able to learn, and getting the support they need when they get distracted or sidetracked or are stuck. And AI is going to be much more of, helping them to learn the information and helping them to solve problems. I think learning is going to be a lot more project-based. Students will be collaboratively working on projects to create things and solve problems and build things. And, whether it be computer models or coding or, anything of that nature. I don't mean building actual buildings or products, but creating knowledge, answering questions. There's going to be much more of an inquiry-based focus, like we have already with the MYP and the diploma program that we're going to be offering. The IB curriculum is inquiry-based, so you start with essential questions, and the teacher will make sure that those questions, that we're asking the right questions, that students are focused on the right questions, and that those questions are going down a certain path, that the curriculum is clearly articulated, guaranteed, and viable, just as Marzano has always said. But the teacher will be much more of a guide of learning and then a distributor of knowledge. And so that's a big change. I think another change that the AI is mentioned here is that there'll be more forecasting of where students are heading with the skills that they have, and what their strengths are, and how to leverage those strengths to improve their learning, and more individualized, tailored learning towards what their goals are, where they're headed as they get older, where they're headed towards a career. When they're younger, obviously it's more general, but as they get older into 11th grade, 12th grade, and they're thinking about university and what they're going to specialize in, AI will be really helpful in helping to play to their strengths and guide their learning that follows their passions and their interests and what they're hoping to do in the world.
It's going to be definitely exciting, that's for sure. Well, let's talk about some predictions. So one of the questions we ask to our guests is, about predictions in terms of this year and further, in terms of job market, business, and education. Are there any predictions that you'd like to share with our audience?
Well, I am certainly not an expert on the economy or where things are headed in the business world, but I am familiar with the patterns as a student of history. I'm familiar with the patterns of history, and one thing is clear, that there are shifts in any society over time, and there are shifts to the right and shifts to the left, and these happen all the time over time. And there's usually, when there's an action, there's usually a reaction, and I think I would predict that over the coming years, the pendulum will swing as it always has. And if anybody's unhappy with the current state of affairs, I would encourage them just to be patient and to stick with, working with our systems and trusting things will work out. And don't judge everything on how things are going on a day-to-day basis, but have more of a long-term approach, a historical view on how things are moving. And I would like to think we're still moving in the right directions overall as a society, as a country, and as a world. I, having worked in 7 different countries, have gotten a very global perspective on things, and I've lived in countries where there was an authoritarian regime. I've lived in countries where there was a king. I've lived in countries where there was a total democracy. So I've gotten to see a range of different governments and political environments, and I see advantages and disadvantages. They all have, and I take very much a long-term view that as long as we, as a society, as a global culture, continue to focus on what's important and treating each other with dignity and caring about our planet and thinking about future generations and having empathy for others who are less fortunate than us. As long as we continue to instill those really important values and beliefs in our youth, there is hope for the future. And I'm very optimistic. And my whole profession, my whole career has been dedicated towards building future leaders who care about their planet and those around them. So I predict a bright future ahead as long as we continue to stay dedicated to educating the next generation to care and to try to make a difference in their world.
Speaking of next generation, what advice do you have for the next generation, future generation who are interested in getting into teaching?
Well, get experience is my main advice. And there are wonderful summer programs that high school students and college students can get involved in from an early age to test out what teaching is like. I myself did a program called the Summer Bridge program, and I did that in university. Between my junior and senior year, I taught at a school in Louisville, Kentucky, the Kentucky Country Day School, that was running this Summer Bridge program, and they have programs all over the country. But the idea is that they're teaching inner city, underprivileged middle school children summer school for 6 weeks in all the subjects, and they would do that in their summer between grades 6 and 7 and 7 and 8. And then the program would follow them through high school and help to give them tutoring in SAT prep, in math, and in subjects that they needed help with. And those students ended up having a 95% matriculation rate to university or college. And the average rate for those students without the summer program would have been less than 50%. So it was making a difference in the lives of these students. At the same time, it was giving those college and university students who are interested in, high school and college kids who are interested in getting teaching experience, it was giving them that experience. It was a real school. And it had sports and activities and classes, and it was just a fantastic program. So that kind of experience, getting that at a young age, is really able to open up the world of education because to people who are interested in it, because it shows them exactly what it's like. It gives them experience for their resume, and it's life changing. So I highly recommend any kind of experience like that, whether it be camp counseling or summer school teaching or just tutoring. I think tutoring other students is a great way to see if you enjoy that experience of helping somebody else learn. It's not for everybody. It takes patience. It takes a dedication towards being understood and understanding where the learner is and where they're confused, and it takes empathy for how difficult the learning process can be at times. So it's definitely not for everybody, and I recommend everybody try it in one form or another, see if it's something that they get joy from and they feel that sense of reward. And if they do, then I highly encourage, people to follow their passion and get a degree, and that they can teach and get certified to be a teacher, if possible.
When I speak to leaders, they typically have role models that help them evolve and become who they are today. Do you have, or have you ever had role models? Can you tell us about your role models?
Oh, sure. Gosh. Um, Throughout my education, I had many teachers, in addition to my parents, who were obviously also teachers and role models for me. I think I had teachers from very early on who I looked up to as role models, and especially at St. George's School in high school, there were several teachers. My Latin teacher, Mr. Hempel, my football coach, Arch Montgomery, my advisor. There were many teachers who I looked up to and were very impactful on me and helped me as I moved on to university and reflected on those experiences. A lot of those life lessons that I learned from them, I could apply as soon as university, and when I had a little distance to absorb and reflect on those life lessons. So, yes. Fantastic. I've been so lucky and blessed in my life to have amazing adults to help guide me as I went through the learning process and learning how to be a respectful and productive adult. Yeah.
Well, hard to believe 30 minutes already passed, but we are coming to the end of our podcast. Well, my last question will be: do you have any final advice that you like to share with the next generation with regards to their choice for their career as well as furthering their career path?
Yeah, I think my advice is to have a plan and have goals and to look ahead, but also to try to stay in the present as much as possible and not to be worried about the future. I think what we do on a daily basis, the habits that we have, the practices that we do on a daily basis, those will actually determine our future. So worrying about the future and having it to be debilitating, to such an extent that it paralyzes you in the present day, that is going to mean that you'll be paralyzed in the future. So you need to be focused on daily habits and routines and staying positive and taking care of yourself. I think my advice to any young folks is to treat every day as if it's going to be one of their last, and take good care of themselves so that they can have a long and healthy future ahead, and pursue their passions. They want to find a job that actually doesn't feel like a job. It feels like they're doing something they love.
Yes, yes, that these are great advice, and we truly appreciate it. And thank you for being with us in your busy schedule on this Friday, Matthew. So,
Thank you, Kevin.
well, yes, absolutely. So, looking forward to seeing you in the school. Maybe, hopefully, I'll have a chance to visit and see. And
Please do.
yeah, my
Yes.
pleasure. That'd be great. So we'll definitely make sure to arrange it. Thank you so much for being with us, and thank you for sharing your insights and your wisdom with us today.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Everybody's welcome to come visit Harrow, New York. Just let us know if you're interested.
Sounds good. Yeah, thank you for the hospitality.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Well, to our audience and to our listeners, thank you very much for being with us. As I mentioned earlier, we are happy to celebrate our more than 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's our first 2,000, and it's increasing on daily basis. So I'd like to thank you for your support. Please share, like, and also invite your contacts to our YouTube channel. And as you see, just like today, we create educational content for our audience. And I'm looking forward to seeing you at our coming episodes. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Support for the American Business Podcast for the Next Generation ABP comes from the marvelous CRM software, The Marvelous CRM software is an AI-powered marketing and business development software. It is for small and mid-sized companies. You can manage your prospects, customers, contacts. You can manage your sales pipelines to increase revenue. You can send unlimited emails. You can also manage and schedule your social media accounts. Moreover, the Marvelous CRM software helps you design your company websites, online stores, and event registration websites on the same platform. The Marvelous CRM software brings you a customer portal for you to manage your customers and members. The Marvelous CRM software is modern, easy to use, secure, and affordable. Subscribe today and close more deals.